Okay guys, I have a Minnkota Endura C2 30-pound thrust 30-inch shaft trolling motor. I'm going to show you how I rigged it on my Slayer Propel 10. First thing I did after I bought the trolling motor itself was I shortened it up 8 inches. I would recommend taking 6 inches off at the most. I find that when I have it on the boat, I wish I had it a couple inches lower. That's fairly self-explanatory. That's going to be taking a hacksaw or whatever you may have, trimming the outside of the composite shaft. Now you've got 5 wires in here. You've got your 2 main power wires that run to the bottom, and then you've got 3 other wires that run for your speeds and whatnot. The battery wires don't need to be cut, so if you want to save some extra work, be careful to not cut those wires as you're going through here. The other 3 will need to be cut in order to shorten the shaft up. Now, if you wanted to leave it completely stock at 30 inches, I don't see any problems with that. It's going to hang down from the bottom of your boat probably about a foot, maybe 14 inches into the water, which isn't a bad thing. And then if that was the case, all you'd have to do is take this top nut out here and flip the head around, which is what I did on this one as well. So now on this bottom piece here, this is how it's going to come. There's a pin that goes in here, and there's a little pin that goes in here. And then this is actually the clamp for this adjustment. So all I did was take a little punch, and I punched that main pin out. It was really easy to do. Got this piece completely off, and then this piece was sitting in here kind of like that. So that piece you just have to kind of finagle that out of there. Fairly easy to do. I can't really explain it. So here's what I was left with, this main piece here, and then you'd actually have to take, there's that other little pin there. So so after that, basically what I did was reconnect all the wires. I put in, there's different ways to do this. The way that I came up with, I put this eye bolt in here, coming from the top to the bottom, and I'll show you how I connected that. Come right up here, babe. So now as we get into the boat, this sets right in there. Make sure that nut is flush. And I've got this little kind of like a trailer hitch pin. I believe it's 2 3/4 by 3/8. 3/8 3/8 eye bolts. So, and as you can see, I've got these 2 eye bolts that I drilled into the boat, and that's what essentially this pin slides through. Got that locked in. Connect my battery cable here. I use these it's quick connect that I got at Runnings. This is my local hardware store, but you probably find them in the trailer section, potentially at like a farm and garden store, back by the electrical lighting and stuff like that. So hook those up. Got my wire that runs just temporarily under my seat into the battery box, which I just sit back here, and off we go. So we can replace the hatch cover. Turn the trolling motor on. Now another example that I found had the handle shortened up. I didn't find a need for that. I actually kind of like having the longer handle on it. So yeah, it's a nice little trolling motor. I get it up to about the same speed that you can pedaling, close to 4 miles an hour. So you're not really gaining anything that way, but it's a lot nicer for tooling around on a lake and discovering new waters and not having to put that much effort into it. So that's my basic setup that I had. When it's all said and done with the right tools, the trolling motor was $90. Battery was another. I got a 2-pack for about $120. That's the battery that I got there, Mighty Max. It's a 35 amp hour, and I can hook both these batteries in parallel if I want more juice. I would guess that I would get about 2.5 to 3 hours running it at a fairly high speed. The only time I took it out, I had it out for about an hour and was running it mostly on the high speed, and there was no sign of drainage from my battery box or anything like that. So, but other than that, we take the hatch cover off, pull that pin out, trolling motor comes off, quick disconnect, and off we go.